Welcome back to the 2023 USCA AC National Championships. Tom and Loretta Cooper are your tournament directors. Johnny Mitchell is the tournament manager here at the NCC. And Brian Hovis is again our videographer. I can't thank our sponsors enough. Chris Barley and Stuart Price have stepped up to help make all of this possible. We are, of course, the official YouTube channel of the USCA, which provides sponsorship as well. Check it out and join us on the lawn. This is game 2. Matthew Essick took the first game, 26-1 triple peel, and that one's up already. Many of you have looked at that. We're on court 6 at the National Croquet Center, along with court 7, the showcase courts right in front of the clubhouse veranda. Zach won the toss and went first in the first game, so Matthew leads off now with the standard east boundary position. The jerkiness on the panning is not Brian getting the shakes. It's the fact that his camera defaulted back to MTS files, for those of you who care about this, and iMovie struggles with MTS files. It messes with the soundtrack too. Frankly, it's a nightmare. Zach's coming west from the corner to turn those two balls on the boundary into a bit of a double target. This guy in the blue shorts coming into the frame third here is Jim Bast. He's been a stalwart of American croquet for decades. He was on the first McRobertson Shield team, and he was on both of the only two teams to ever win the Solomon Trophy, beating England in something like 25 tries. Quite a distinction, I would say. He's going to roquet partner with yellow, put it a couple feet in court from blue, and then rush blue to hoop one. Could just as easily have roquet blue, kicked it out a little bit, gotten a rush on partner, and made hoop one off partner, which is a little bit safer. This way, if he doesn't get a hoop shot, he has a beautiful hoop one pioneer. It can go back to partner. But if he blobs this hoop, then blue has a break. So always a trade-off. From here, Zach ran a nice break from 3 through hoop 6 with no problem, and we pick him up approaching 1 back with both opponent balls for the lead. Mom and new standard leaves are both diagrammed in that graphic that opened this video, so you can check there. The mom standard leaf puts black on the wire of 1 bag, and the new standard leaf puts it 2 to 4 yards toward the boundary. In both cases, they're wired from the end of B bog. If that blue ball, which is going to be on the wire of 3 back, is out of position by a ½ an inch, it messes up the wiring. So irregularities in the terrain require a little gardening. Now, admittedly, in a lot of venues in Australia and New Zealand, they might get laughed at for worrying about this kind of irregularity, but this is the good old USCA. And conditions in hurling, where the World Championships are being held this summer, are just as good as they are at the NCC. So Zach's the first to make 9, a very nice new standard leave. Matthew leaves the blue ball. The triple's a little bit easier. And since both his balls are for hoop 1, there's no polarity issue. Matthew only has a half ball shot at blue from the end of A block, but he may think that blue's not rushable to hoop 1. So he's going to take the lift shot with black at what's really wider than a true double, but maybe far enough away that it'll function as a double. A true double target has the two balls just barely a ball diameter apart, so they have the same angular displacement as a single ball half as far away. If they're farther apart than that, then the better you are, the farther away they have to be before aiming right between them makes sense. Guess they weren't far enough away. I'm pretty sure this was part of why Matthew left blue on 3 back, because he knew Zach was going to have to do something like this to get going. being separated from partner doesn't mean much to these guys. Here comes Arlene Parker on to court 7 to play the first flight final against Linda Sutterberg. The first time two ladies have competed for that title, which I happened to win in Mission Hills, I think in 2016 against Steve Mossbrook, may he rest in peace, a much beloved long-time American croquet player who was treasurer of the USCA for a while. Matthew took the great circle route to get from hoop 2 to hoop 1. The rum line would have been a lot shorter. All the sailors are cringing at that one. The great circle route, of course, is the shorter of the two on a sphere, unless the entire path is on the equator or a meridian, of course. The yellow clip is on 4 back. Maybe we'll get to see a TPO. Or, you guessed it, a New Zealand TPO, where peels yellow through one hoop, does a sextuple leave. The hot shot misses the only shot he gets, the T-lady. And then blue makes 12, getting at least 2 peels on black, peeling yellow to the peg, pegging out yellow and blue, leaving a 1-ball game with black on 3 back versus red on 2, a game that black should probably win. Matthew has promised me he would try to do one of these days. I've only seen it attempted once, and we certainly don't have it on video. You want him to do an Irish peel and then make 3 with black on the way back, don't you? That's what Wiley calls a notorious bêtise, a fool's errand. One of the championship players may want to comment, but I think if you don't get the back peel on the opponent at 4-back in a TPO, you're not going to do the TPO because it's too dangerous otherwise, trying to peel the opponent ball in a very delayed fashion. The standard way to get a rush on red back to 4-back, which he's probably not going to take anyway, is to put red right beside the hoop and then do a controlled hoop shot. He's doing it the other way. You put red a foot or two short of the yard line and then go through the hoop hard, and you have the same rush. Well, he took the rush despite what I said. If he tries to get the 4-back peel, I'm going to eat my hat. No good. My hat's safe. So he's either going to swap 2-back pioneers or entertain us with a sextuple. Entertain us it is. He seems to like this southwest to northeast wiring line instead of northwest to southeast. And I'm not sure why, because, man, it puts a lot of furniture in the way, and it makes it difficult to be sure that both of the opponent balls have a shot on the deep ball in corner 3. Now, if, for instance, red were for hoop 1, and you knew he was going to pick up red for that reason, you might want to lengthen red's shot into the corner this way. But neither of these balls is for hoop 1. Now, ordinarily, he would tap yellow, fine-tune his position, and take off to get a good rush into corner 3 on blue. But apparently, yellow's position is perfect, and he doesn't want to mess it up. So he compromises and makes the shot into corner 3 more challenging. And it's challenging because these balls both need to be placed very precisely, and from this distance is tough. The whole point of the sextuple is you don't give up a hoop lift. But because of all the furniture in the way, to avoid a wiring lift, he has to put black out where Zach can see it, and it's a lot shorter than it's supposed to be. And they're laughing because Zach hits this pretty frequently. Now he's going to want to play red and maybe try to finish his triple. So he needs blue as a pioneer at 4, and he needs a brush on yellow to 4 back. It's not hard enough as it is. Let's make it more entertaining.
Thank you. Hey, Carla.
Somebody once asked Reg Bamford what his goal was when he was running a break, or a peeling break in particular, and he said, I don't ever want to bend over. He doesn't want to hit any roll shots. Just drive and stop shots. If you're hitting lots of roll shots, it means your triple is challenging. But I think he's up to it. And while we're watching Zach, there's Linda Soderberg on the left and Arlene Parker over there in the Women's First Flight Championship. Unfortunately, snippets like that is all we were able to get because of the schedule. Placing an escape ball from this far away is problematic. Placing a peelee from this distance is less of an issue because you get a second crack at it. And make note of Black's position. It is the Hoop 5 pioneer. Nice position for blue. The skate ball after the 4-back peel and the pioneer for hoop 6. He's being patient. He's going to try for the 4-back peel before 6 now. A triple peel that's set up early and executed by the book is what we all aspire to, but it's not nearly as much fun to watch as one like this. There's a trade-off here between trying to get the triple back on time, assuming he gets the 4-back peel now, and making sure you keep the break going. While he might put black deep to 6 now to help get it back on time, Patty Chapman suggests you can do the same thing and be more flexible and maybe safer if you put black over short of 1 back at this stage. Patty's chapter on triple peeling and beyond expert croquet makes all this crystal clear. Would have been slightly better if black had stopped right there. Lovely setup and execution of the 4-back peel and continuation. Bummer, triple interrupted. So is the sextuple still on? Black is there, waiting to be peeled through 1 back. This is cool. He wants black right where it is, but he has to go pick up yellow over by hoop 3. Most of us would have tapped black and taken off trying to get the rush on yellow, but he knows that the rush on yellow is the most important part of this. This is how Robert Fletcher would have done it. Now we can put black right back where it was and have a much better chance of getting a dolly rush to hoop 1 on yellow. No, no, the furniture gets in the way. He's going to hit this like it's an odd numbered hoop in golf croquet. What he's trying to do, though, is get to red so that he can then go down and set up and execute the 1 back peel on black and keep the sextuple going. Bummer. Doesn't always work, even for the reigning golf croquet world champion. So the score hasn't changed, and now Zach just has to do a double peel starting at hoop 6. That should be in his wheelhouse. Linda Soderberg went on to win that first flight final against Arlene Parker. She's now the highest ranked female AC player in North America, followed by Don Jupin and Jody Rugart. Congratulations, Linda, and to Arlene as well, of course. Trying to get the Penalt peel and get red to black at 2 back in the same stroke is called a death roll. It's fun, but if he misses, it puts the peely yellow wildly out of position. So because he has several more opportunities to get that peel, a takeoff here is better, gets into black with more certainty, and positions yellow very nicely. He wanted 10 or 15 degrees of easterly bearing on that rush, but he'll take that. Black's in great shape to make 4 back if he does the peel after 3 back. But actually, the death roll on the way to 3 back looks a little less daunting now than it did on the way to 2 back before. But still not safe enough. No reason to be a hero if you don't have to. He wanted to put blue about 2 or 3 feet deeper so that he could position it further past 3 back and get a rush on it down the pinot. He'll make it work, but it would have been a lot easier if blue had been 2 or 3 feet farther north. Were red and yellow in contact, he could still do an Irish peel, get red, clean, and finish. But they weren't. They were a little bit apart. And even though there's no penalty for hitting a ball you're dead on an AC, you can't do a double tap in that stroke. And for a drag roll to work here and not double tap, red would have to be 5 or 6 inches further away from yellow. So all he can do is try to escape, peeling yellow at the same time. Not a great lead, but it's what he had. Zach put his back ball through 1 back and 4 backs, and Matthew gets a hoop lift. Yellow is conveniently placed for that purpose. And the sextuple is abandoned. It'll just be take black through 1 back, 2 back, and 3 back, settle leave, and hope for a chance to do a triple with blue. So with yellow as the 2-back pioneer, let's see how he avoids or deals with blue as the 3-back pioneer. It looks like he's constructing a mom standard leave. Chris Clark wants that red ball at least half wired from the end of B-bog. Not easily rushable to hoop 1. Not wired from corner 4, and obviously close to the hoop. You want to read the reasons for all that, look in ClarkCroquet.com, Clark with an E, under AC Tactics Lift Leaves. And in terms of tactical polarity, it was mostly fortuitous, but since red is the ball that Zach's going to want to lift, and blue's clip is on hoop 2, he's definitely going to leave yellow on 3 back, which might make Matthew's triple a little easier. When I first looked at this, I got worried for him right about here because he has to use blue as the 3-back pioneer. He's going to make 2 back off yellow, and then he has to get yellow close to 3 back from a long way away. So getting the wiring where yellow's on the wire of 3 back and a hampered swing keeps it from shooting it blue and black on the east boundary is going to be difficult. Usually you're positioning this yellow ball from a foot or 2, not from 9 yards. And then when he made no effort to get yellow close to the hoop, it occurred to me he's doing something else. And yes, I did know about this. He's doing what's called a summer leave. It's really a variation of the new standard leave developed by Steve Summer, who was part of the North Carolina croquet contingent with the most beautiful croquet lawn I've ever seen near Danny Honeycutt's place south of Winston-Salem. Danny and Ben Rothman have used it in competition, and Matthew, it turns out, uses it a lot. So what they do is, it was a little bit of a reverse new standard leave. They park yellow out there between 3 and 4, wired by the peg from what here will be blue and black over on the west boundary. They use it when their back ball is for hoop 2, and by putting the ball that the opponent wants to lift in hoop 2, it may be the most forcing of leaves I know of. Matthew doesn't worry about wiring yellow from his balls by the peg anymore because he's never seen anybody take that shot. And because he knows Zach's going to lift red, he will give blue the rush on black to the yellow ball out in the middle of the lawn so he can organize the triple before he ever gets around to making hoop 2. And if you want to check out Steve Summers' spectacular court, look at the Country Boys playlist. And like all innovative, clever tactics in croquet, if the other guy's having a good day, it's all for naught. So Zach Watson is going to take game 2, 26-10 over Matthew Essick to set up the tiebreaker for all the marbles in the AC National Championships between the two top-ranked AC players in the U.S. Thanks again to our sponsors, the United States Croquet Association, Chris Barley and Stuart Price. Give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I haven't even looked at the last game, but I can't imagine it's not going to be a doozy.